relax. Now I'm trying to get back. Hold it cool down, run out, I'll be giving it my best. This is nothing gonna stop me, body by intervention. Record it's again my turn. To win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up and find and then you're free. And look into your heart and you'll find love, love, love. Listen to the music of the moment, people there and sing. We're just one big family, and it's our goal for sacred right to be love, 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 love. So I won't hesitate no more, no more. We cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate our time. Be sure this is our day. I'm yours. Do you wanna come on? Scorching over closer, dear. And I will live with you. What's going on?
Oh, 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 yeah.
Just go with the seasons, and that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Is our virtue.
oh.
One hesitate no more, no more. It cannot
Wait.
I'm yours. Mind and see like me. Open up inside and then you're free. Look into your heart and you'll
Find
find
love.
So please don't. Hey, hey. I'm yours. Welcome to Coconut Kitchen. This is episode 4. Wake up and smell the coffee.
No, actually no. We don't have to drink coffee. We actually have coconut Thai tea. And we have some other juice. Let's see if you like them. Order from us.
And again, big up to our sponsor, online spice shop nideru. First cut is the deepest. This is your first time seeing me cooking, right? This is my first time cooking Escovitch fish. Please come and see my ingredients. I have sweet peppers here, and if you notice, I already sliced yellow and red sweet peppers. So now I'm going to do julienne slices to the green sweet peppers. Next, I have a carrot. So I'm going to cut this carrot into julienne slices as well. now I have an onion here, and I should have told you earlier, but I am preparing to cook garnish, right? So how it looks is an important aspect besides how it tastes. So I already cut sweet peppers and carrots into julienne slices, but now I'm going to cut the onion into rings. So I want to cut the onion into rings, nice. And you can cut the onion into rings from this side or this side, either side, but I think this side is maybe more common in Jamaica, so I'm going to follow this method. And please be careful, you don't want to cut your finger. And when you finish cutting the onion, you're going to break the onion into each ring. Already looking interesting, right? So this is it for the onion. So these are our chili peppers. In Jamaica, they have Scotch bonnet peppers, or they might use some other Caribbean peppers. The Scotch bonnet peppers are really spicy, but very tasty as well, and also colorful, so it's really good for garnish. But in Japan, it's extremely difficult to find Scotch bonnet peppers, so today we use these bird peppers. This one is spicy enough, not as spicy as Scotch bonnet pepper, but it's good enough. So you chop the peppers into small pieces. And we also have these green hot peppers. These are not so spicy in comparison to the bird peppers. And we already used 4, so we only use 2 today. I'm going to cut this into rings so it will look good as garnish. And please remember, you can always adjust the amount of vegetable that you use for garnish depending on the amount and the size of the fish that you're cooking. And also according to how you want it to be spicy, how much spicy you want it to be. Now I'm going to cook garnish. So what you basically have to do is to cook the vegetables in vinegar. So in Jamaica they use white vinegar, clear one, but available vinegar in Japan is different and we don't really have that same kind of white vinegar. So we decided to use this vinegar, which is already flavored. So it already contains sugar, salt, and some seaweed soup and so on. So it's already nice, and people usually use it for pickles. And also, if you are using white vinegar, at a later point, you will have to add a salt and sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt and 3 teaspoons of sugar. But since our vinegar already have some flavors, we are not going to add it. And also, you can use pimento seeds. Again, for the same reason, we are not going to add pimento seeds, but if you have pimento seeds, I recommend that you use it because it really looks good and tastes good. And first, after putting vinegar into the pot, you're going to cook chili peppers. What I want to do is to create a foundation, meaning the heat goes through peppers, and I'm going to add some other vegetable after this, but the peppery heat, whatever you call it, it's going to be applied to other vegetables and it's going to taste nice. You know, the combination of pepper and vinegar will go all over the vegetables. Now I'm going to add carrots. Why I'm adding carrots first is because it takes time for carrots to be cooked. But you need to remember that you are cooking garnish, so the shape again is important. You don't want to overcook the vegetable and the shape will break. So I'm not going to cook too much, just lightly, like maybe 60% of cooking, if that makes sense to you. So 40% is kind of raw, you know, you want to keep the texture and shape. Texture is another important aspect of this garnish for Escovitch fish. Now I'm going to add onions and then sweet peppers. Actually, if it wasn't for this cooking reason, the carrots taking time, I would have added onions after peppers, because onion will produce a nice flavor. So it would be good if you could extract flavor from onion after peppers. So again, the shapes, these rings, will look really nice on fish. So I don't want you to overcook it or stir it too rough. Treat the onions and other vegetables nice, okay? And lastly, I am adding sweet peppers. And you're going to stir it a little, leave it, watch it, and when these vegetables are about 60% cooked, still feel a little tough, you know, not too soft, then the garnish will be ready. Very simple, right? I think it's good now. Can you see that onions are not so translucent? Still kind of white, but soft enough. Carrots also not too soft, but it can bend a little easy. So this is the time you can turn off the fire, right? And you can use this garnish as it is, put it on the fish and eat at the same time. But if you like, you can also keep it in a bottle, maybe about this, you know, this kind of bottle. And if the vinegar is not enough, you can add some more vinegar, so this vegetable can float in the vinegar, and keep it for whatever time you want. If you have been to Jamaica or you are in Jamaica, I think you have seen those pepper sauce at bars or restaurants, you know, so those sauce will look like this in the bottle. So this is our fish, but first I have to apologize to you. Being honest with you now, this week has been challenging week and I happened to delete some videos. So you might have seen, or you will see, red snappers, which Jamaican people use very often for Escovitch fish, in the beginning and last of the video. But I had to buy back a new fish and I couldn't find red snapper, so now I'm using this fish. But anyways, you prepare your fish and remove scales or remove inside, whatever you need to do. This time I bought this fish without scales. It was already removed and the inside was removed too, so I just had to wash it and remove the water from the fish, because you're going to put dried seasoning later and you want the fish to be dried, so you can put seasoning on the body of the fish properly. And now, before putting the seasoning to the fish, what you want to do is to make slices like this. maybe depending on the size of the fish, 3 or 4 accordingly. Why I'm doing this is to put the spice on the fish, but with these slices, the spices, the seasoning can penetrate the skin, and also the heat. When you are going to cook the fish, the heat will also pass through the body, and then you can cook the fish evenly without breaking the shape. So it's important to make slices according to the size of the fish. Also, you can cut anyways, but because presentation is important as well, so these are the ways that many Jamaican people do. At an angle, 3 or 4 slices, and you want to do it to the other side of fish too. Right? Okay, now the fish is ready. So next I'm going to show you my dry seasoning. These are our dry seasonings from online spice shop nideru, our sponsor. So it's not perfectly Jamaican, but this is what my husband recommends. If you don't know, one of our objectives of this coconut kitchen video is to show how to cook Jamaican food or Caribbean inspired food with ingredients available in Japan, so we sometimes have to find alternatives. So for example, in Jamaica they use fish seasoning, usually Grace or Maggi, but we don't have fish seasoning here in Japan, so this time I'm using this consomme. It can kind of replace fish seasoning. And also we've been using coriander as well. Coriander, my husband said if Jamaican people had this, they would have used it maybe. That's how they cook, but only because they don't have it, they're not using it. But this is good, for Jamaican food. And also, unlike Jamaican seasoning, these seasoning don't have much salt, so we're going to add some salt also. So starting from garlic powder, important allspice, and this is coriander, black pepper, and we can also add a little bit of chili pepper powder. We already have pepper in garnish, so we don't have to add much, just a little bit, and then the consomme, and lastly salt, and you mix it together and get ready to apply to fish. Now dry seasoning is ready and the fish have slices. So I'm going to put the spice seasoning to fish little by little from inside and outside, both sides, this side and this side. So I'm going to start from inside. And remember, after washing the fish, you want to remove the water properly, so these seasonings is able to spread evenly and stick to the surface of the fish properly. So you can use kitchen towel or cloth or whatever to remove the moisture from the fish. And you kind of rub the seasoning to the fish. Rub it, you know. And you want to cover the entire fish with seasoning from head to tail. You know, until I learned this way of cooking when I went to Jamaica, that was my first time learning putting seasoning to the fish like this and eating it, and I really like it. Until that time, I never really liked fish, because in Japan I was only familiar with salted fish or some saute fish or some teriyaki fish, but I didn't know that this way of enjoying fish. I really appreciate learning something new, and I'm really happy that I'm trying this now myself. So I'm going to continue to put seasoning on fish to both sides. After applying drying seasoning, I'm going to put the flour on the fish by patting it like this. I want to make a thin layer to cover the fish on the seasoning, and this is to make the fish crispy as well as keeping the fish together. So you don't want to put too much flour, just a thin layer. And you're gonna do this again to both sides of fish. So now I'm going to deep fry the fish. But before putting the fish in the pot, I'm going to put garlic and peppers for extraction of flavor. So you don't want these garlic and peppers to be burnt easily, so you can just cut the garlic into half maybe, and you don't really have to cut the peppers. Instead, I made little holes using chopsticks to the surface of garlic and peppers, so the flavor will be extracted properly and slowly and nicely. Okay? Now I'm going to add the fish in the pot. And you're going to cook it for a few minutes, both sides. If you are cooking more than one fish and the garlic and pepper, maybe garlic, get burnt, you can remove them. You can also add more peppers, but you don't really have to because the flavor is already in the oil. The pot is actually a little small, so I recommend that you use a bigger pot for this size of fish. Now the fish is finished cooking. I'm going to remove the fish and remove the oil from the fish before moving on to preparing the festival. Twinkle, twinkle, are you still with us? I'm going to cook Jamaican festival, which is fried dough. A little sweet fried dough, but it's served with other meals like even jerk chicken. But this week's coconut kitchen, I am preparing festival with Escovitch fish. So just a little explanation now. At Coconut Kitchen, we have a full video, and we usually split it into several episodes for a purpose of uploading to Instagram and Facebook. So if you want to just learn how to cook festival, you can just start from here. But if you want to also learn how to cook Escovitch fish, you can check another video. Okay? So let's do it. So these are the ingredients for festival. I'm going to mix dried ingredients first, because if you put wet ingredients, then it's going to cause bonding of dry ingredients, and it will be difficult to mix it properly. So I'm going to mix dried ingredients first. So I already have flour here, 2 1/4 cups flour. I'm going to now add cornmeal, 3/4 cup cornmeal. In Japan, we can't find cornmeal everywhere, so we have a particular supermarket we always go to get cornmeal. So next, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. It's going to give festival a puff. Another important ingredient. And sugar. I have here about 3 tablespoons, but you can adjust the amount according to your preference. But remember, festival is not really pastry, so it doesn't have to be really, really sweet. And I have 1 teaspoon of salt. And I also have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So this cinnamon and vanilla and so on, it's up to you. People use different ingredients. You can use cinnamon, vanilla, nutmeg. Those are some suggested ingredients, but it's all up to you. This time I'm going to put cinnamon here. And before I move into the wet ingredients, I'm going to mix it properly. Now I'm finished with mix the dried ingredients, and I'm going to move on to the wet ingredients. So here I have again 3 tablespoons of margarine. I'm going to add this now. And vanilla essence, just a little bit, about 1 teaspoon. And about milk or water, it can be water too, or any other milk. You want to avoid putting everything at one time. I have 1 cup, but you can start from putting maybe half or a little bit more than half to observe the stickiness and softness of the dough. So you don't want the dough to be too soft or too tough, so you're going to see how soft it will be, and add water or milk little by little. And while mixing the dough, I would like to mention about the name festival. Have you ever wondered why it's called festival? My husband said that his great uncle told him that it used to be called corn, right? So for those people, they have no idea why it's called festival now. And I don't know why it's called festival, but probably just like jerk chicken, which is available at parties, maybe festival used to be available at some festive events. Does this make sense to you? So if you know some other information, please comment to the comment section. We would love to learn differently. besides this coconut kitchen cooking videos, at our YouTube channel, we also have some art videos like body painting and camping videos, family videos. So please subscribe to our channel and enjoy all other videos. And coming back to dough now, I feel it's a little too tough, so I'm going to add some more milk. But not too much, remember? Little by little. So the dough is ready. Can you see? It's not too soft or not too tough. And the oil is also ready. In Japan, we use these long chopsticks for cooking to judge the temperature of oil based on amount of bubbles that come from the chopsticks. So this is good enough, good temperature. So now I'm kneading the dough into a shape. Take about this amount and knead it into a shape, a common shape for festival in Jamaica. I don't know how it's called, but the two ends are a little pointy and long, like this. What do you think? And put it in the oil. So do as much as a pot can hold, but remember to leave enough space between festivals, each festival. The spacing is important so they won't be burnt. And you also have to watch fire carefully to avoid burning. And when good amount of time pass, you're going to flip festival and cook it in the oil until the color changed to nice gold brown. So I'm going to turn over the festival. Maybe about 1 minute pass to get this color. Nice color and smell. It smells slightly sweet and feels so good. Nice amount of puff. But maybe these can be removed now. I'm going to remove some festival and remove the oil and give a space for more dough to be cooked. So I finished cooking festival. How does it look? Now festival is ready to be served with Escovitch fish. I am going to garnish the fish now. The first thing I do is to take the spoon and put vinegar and spread vinegar over the fish thoroughly. Cover the entire fish. And then after, I'm going to put the vegetable, carrots, onions and peppers and so on. So how you're going to put these is up to you, but I'm going to try to make it look as good as possible. So this is it, guys. This is our presentation as usual. This is one serving. We cooked Escovitch fish and festival. So these are tomatoes and avocados. They go well with Escovitch Fish and Festival. And this is extra fish and extra festival. And these are the drinks that we are going to enjoy today.
So, which one you choose?
I'm going to take this nice blue color.
Okay, shall we?
Sure.
I'm also going with the same thing.
It's a passion fruit with basil seed.
Okay. So, hope you enjoy our cooking as usual. Until next time, take care, one love,
One love.
all the time. Peace.
Kampai.
Bye. First time.
Interesting.
Oh, the camera is still on. Mm.